So you guys are both laughing.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about this question here.
Freaking nightmare.
So, so the first time you guys meet, hey, I got this idea. Austin, you're probably like, okay, that seems like a cool idea.
Oh yeah, it's simple.
Yeah, easy.
We'll be done. Yeah, a couple month or two.
Yeah, Jay, you're like, yeah, this seems easy.
Seems simple.
What
Get food, deliver food.
Yeah.
Just write the words.
What happened? What happened? So this project was like, hey, I think this is something simple, but the scope of the project just went huge for both, right?
Yeah.
For the size of the app, the different apps that we built. I'm sure budgets, like obviously, were like conversations. So let's talk about how those conversations happened and kind of what was the attitude going in on that. So let's start with you, Austin. Let's talk about your first.
Yeah.
We talked about like the technical things, but let's just talk about the complications as a scope of how big this project continued to get. Did you know it was going to be this big?
No. So originally what ended up happening is going into this, we thought it was going to be something as simple as, you've got a person's location and you just got to show it on a map and deliver it, and they've just got to order some food. But what we didn't understand, I would say the two most complicated things, really the three most complicated things that we ended up putting into this app version 1 that just really like blew us up from a technical standpoint was 1, multi-restaurant orders, 2, the way that menu items are set up, and 3 were taxes. So I want to jump into the second one because I've already talked about how hard it was to build multi-restaurant orders. But the thing is with your bowl specifically, we had to build something that was just as customizable or more customizable than what Shopify does. So if you've ever worked with Shopify, you have all these different variations, you have all these options, and you've got to be able to calculate price. Shopify actually only limits you to 100 variations, so everybody knows. So we were trying to solve a problem that isn't necessarily something that Shopify just said, screw it, but was super complex. Like they're not even offering that to people. Ironically, one of the developers who worked for us ended up getting hired at Shopify. So that was
They're like, well, no, we've been trying to solve this forever. We can hire you and figure it out.
So and it was super funny because now, so the way that it works out is you've got a menu item, and this menu item can have a ton of different variations, options, and add-ons. And so we had to come up with a way that wasn't exponentially growing to have different options for each menu item. So they could select different options, they could select different variations, and basically customize the entire order. And that, from like a technical standpoint, was super tough problem to crack.
Yeah, I still remember the Zoom call because you showed us the menu thing, and then my dad was like, all right, we'll see, if we can break it with the testing. And then I immediately was like, I've already broken it. We have bowls. And I was like, then every single item is like customizable and all that kind of stuff. And so we had to like break that down. And I was like, the sandwiches were easy because you showed us with the sandwiches. And it's just basically, do you want mustard or not? And then I was like, yeah, but we've got this other item. And it's kind of our main thing. It's bowls. And they need to pick everything. Yeah.
I would say to this day, with our developers, if I were to go up to each of them and I'd ask them to tell me what is the difference between a variation, option, and add-on, they'd probably give me a blank stare for like 30 minutes because it's seriously just like a really hard thing to wrap your head around. And on your end, to actually go in and train businesses how to use this software, I think it's going to be pretty tough just because of how flexible and customizable your product actually is.
Yeah.
And so
which by the way, isn't necessarily a problem that only your restaurant's going to have, right? This is something that we have to solve for everybody when the time comes.
And that's why it blew up from a technical standpoint because it's like, we're not trying to just solve a problem for Cucina Cubana. We're trying to solve a problem so when any restaurant comes to your platform, they're going to be able to go in and add their menu without problems.
Yeah.
And to create something so dynamic is challenging.